The poor student I had sponsored for years suddenly demanded that I divorce my husband and give him to her. She claimed to be a gambler. If she couldn't win over Jude Langston, she would die. Jude couldn't bear to see her suffer. He tried to persuade me. You're almost 30, and she's only in her 20s. She still has a long future ahead of her. How can you be so heartless? And just like that, he turned around and secretly became her lover. They whispered sweet words in front of everyone, flirted shamelessly before my eyes. Even my own daughter sided with them, accusing me of being selfish for refusing to divorce Dotton. The end. I let go. I signed the papers and walked away. That night, I drank with my new boyfriend at a bar, toasting to my newfound freedom. But Jude wasn't done with me. He stormed in with our daughter, pointing an accusing finger. You abandoned your husband and child. I sneered. You're almost 40. My new boyfriend is in his 20s. I guess I just have a thing for young ones. When I returned home, cake in hand, my daughter Cassie ran to the door. But instead of welcoming me, she looked behind me, searching. Where's Annabelle? Where's Dad? Her face fell. Why did you come back alone? You're not welcome here. I rubbed my temples, exhaustion washing over me. I had just finished an overnight operation. I had no energy left to explain. She was only 8, still a child, normally obedient, but tonight relentless. She hit and kicked me, her small fists fueled by anger. You're bad. A stinky old woman. You stay with patients all day. She sobbed, hiccuping through her fury. I want Annabelle. I want Dad. Her little hands hurt more than I expected. I inhaled sharply, then wiped away her tears, forcing a gentle voice. Cassie, Mommy is saving lives in the hospital. Mommy is an angel in white, not a bad person. But she only cried louder. I knew she was doing this on purpose. Whenever things didn't go her way, she punished me like this, completely different from her father, who preferred silence. You're lying. If you really save people, why don't you just let Dad and Annabelle be together? Her voice cracked. Annabelle said she would die if she couldn't have Dad. A memory surfaced. Just days ago, Adele Whitaker, the poor student I had supported for 5 years, stood before me, pleading. She had looked at me with desperate eyes. I'm a conqueror, she had said. If I can't win over Jude, I'll die. Please, let me have him. I hadn't believed her, but now doubt crept in, because once upon a time, Jude had conquered me too. Back in college, when he was the golden boy every girl's dream, the campus heartthrob. And I, just a medical student buried in books and lab work. Yet, rain or shine, he waited for me outside the lab every day, ready to walk me to dinner, to tell me stories, to make me laugh. And today was my birthday. He had promised to pick me up, but when I stepped out of the hospital, only the cold wind greeted me. Cassie wouldn't stop crying, begging for her father. So I called him, again and again. On the 5th ring, he finally answered. His voice was lazy, hoarse. What's wrong? Before I could speak, Cassie grabbed the phone, her voice turning sweet and hopeful. Dad, were you with Annabelle today? Can you bring her home next time? My face turned pale as I snatched the phone from Cassie's hands. Cassie, what nonsense are you talking about? She huffed, crossing her arms. Dad said I'm a child, and children don't talk nonsense. With that, she spun on her heel and ran off, knocking over the cake I had just set on the table. The cream smeared across the floor, a sticky ruined mess. I stared at it for a moment. The remnants of my daughter's anger splattered before me, and exhaled a long, tired sigh. I didn't understand. Ever since Adele ended our lives, Cassie had changed. My once sweet, sensible daughter had become volatile, lashing out at me in ways she never had before. I picked up the phone again. Look at your daughter, I said to Jude, but he remained unmoved. Kareen, this isn't how you should handle a child. At her age, you need to be patient. Patient? Had I not been patient enough? Did patience mean sacrificing myself, divorcing my husband, stepping aside, letting another woman play mother to my own child? Jude, Montclair University professor of literature, always spoke with the air of someone who believed he knew better than everyone else. Maybe in books, he was wise, but in real life, he was clueless. I was too exhausted to argue. I turned around and asked him why he hadn't picked me up from work today. A long silence stretched between us before he finally spoke. Kareen, you've walked that road so many times. You're not a child who needs someone to pick you up. His tone was indifferent, almost dismissive. At your age, are you still afraid to go home alone? Then, as if it were an afterthought, he added, I have a seminar here. You should sleep first. I won't be coming home tonight.